Howdy, folks. This is the PC Cowboy riding again. Since the last time I did one of these messages, I've had a little bit of a setback. I had a stroke 2 weeks ago, this coming Wednesday. And, well, it was actually a mini stroke, but I have had to learn pretty much how to speak again. Still working on that, so y'all bear with me on this message. Of course, now this is also a chance for those of you who would like to get a transcribed copy of this message to email me. And if you wanted to help the old PC Cowboy out, any donation you want to send by PayPal, you can make it and send it to Crusader, that's Crusader, the number 4, Jesus, at ymail.com. Okay, last time I kind of got in the women's faces a little bit about a comment that I had made that not all women are ladies. Well, I think I defended my position on that pretty well. And for those of you that don't think so, you're really not going to like today's message. No, sir. Because today, I'm going to talk to the men. Well, the males, because not all males are men. At least not real men. And I've mentioned before that I'm an 80s kind of guy. 1880s, that is. Well, now, some of y'all may not know what that means. It means a lot more than just, let's see, there it is, carrying an 1880s Morgan silver dollar around. It means that I have the values and the customs and the traditions and the manners that I was taught. And those go back a long way. But anyway, getting back to what is a man, a real man. A real man knows to keep his pants up in public. A real man doesn't wear his hair up in a bun unless he happens to be about a 14th century samurai. And you know, folks, there ain't too many of them left. And I reckon there's good reason for that. Because the samurai come at you swinging that sword and hooping and hollering. You pull out the old peacemaker and boom! No more samurai. But, I've been thinking a lot lately about what passes for a man in today's society. I was raised that a man opens the door for a lady. I was raised that a man treats women with respect, pulls out their chair for them in a restaurant, such as that. Men don't do that much anymore. And in a way, it's not really their fault. Because, well, society has taught us that women and men are the same. Otherwise, how do you explain the fact that the men are dressing like women and the women are dressing like men? Ladies, if you go wearing your hair like a man and acting like a man, it's no wonder that you don't get treated like a lady. And men, when you start wearing your hair down to your belt and purifying yourselves up, I don't know. But then again, I want to share something with you out of the Bible. The Bible is basic instructions before we're leaving Earth. Well, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 14 and 15 says, "Does not even nature itself teach you that if a woman have long hair, it is a glory unto her, for her hair is given to her as a covering?" Correction, whoa. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him? Then verse 15 says, "But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory unto her, for her hair is given to her as a covering." Now, Paul was pretty specific about that. And I kind of hold Paul's view on that. Women, you ought to have long hair. Men, you ought not to have long hair. And I have been known to, if I see something that I'm pretty sure is a man, but it has long hair, I have been known to give him a wolf whistle just to embarrass him. No, I ain't gay, but I figure it this way. By golly, if they gonna try to dress like a woman and act like a woman, I'm gonna put them in their place. Now, I'm gonna share something with you about my view on opening doors for a lady. Several years back, I was in. Okay, I wasn't gonna say where, but I'm gonna tell you. I was in Smyrna, Georgia, and I was headed into a little convenience store, and there was this young lady headed up to the door of the store. And so, being a gentleman, I opened the door for her. She looks at me and she said, "I'm perfectly capable of opening the door for myself." And I looked at her and I reached up and I tipped my hat to her and I said, "Well, ma'am, I was always taught that a gentleman opens the door for a lady. However, in this case, I can see that I was mistaken, because you are obviously no lady." Well, as I walked on into the store, I deliberately pulled the door to behind me. There was a gentleman standing at the counter, and he looked at me and said, "Son, I don't know what just went on between you two out there." He said, "But I'll say this much. Whatever it was, you got the best of her." Well, there was one of those security mirrors up behind him, and I looked in that mirror, and sure enough, she was standing there with her jawbone dropped down to about her kneecaps. I guess she decided she didn't need anything at the store too bad, because she turned around, walked over, got in her car, and drove off. Well, you know, I hated that happened, but I will admit, the look on her face, it was priceless. Woo! Okay, now that moves me to another point. Real men don't just open the door for a lady. Real men open their Bibles. Because real men know just how important it is for them to stay in communication with God. God's our Father. And anybody knows how important it is to keep in touch with your daddy. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay. Over there in the background, you'll notice a cross. You'll notice a flag and a picture. I can't really get a good shot of the picture, but the picture is of my dad, Ernest Dwayne Paris. Picture was taken in 1956, same year I was born. I was born on Davis Monthan Air Force Base, Tucson, Arizona. My dad was in the Air Force. Um, he was a man, and like a lot of men, myself included, he had his good points and his bad ones. But I won't get into that. Um, I'm I'm having trouble with my words. You'll give me a second. Okay. As, as, as you can tell, the stroke was more effective on the right side of my face. And sometimes it makes my words a little hard. Now, also, a real man is always a gentleman. The more of a man he is, the more of a gentleman he should become. That doesn't mean he should become effeminate. No, sir. No. No way. But it does mean that he does not become a brawler. I tell you what, I'll admit I've been in my share of fights. I'll also tell you right off the get-go that I have never started one, but I've sure enough ended several of them. In fact, some of y'all may know this, some of you may not. I am a martial artist. 7th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. Now, some of the words that the stroke has caused me to have trouble with are words that have the letter S and H, and the rank in Japanese for my belt is Seshidan. I believe pronunciation, but anyway, it's SEICHIDAN. That means I'm 7th degree black belt. I'm also a member of the World Black Belt Bureau. But also, guys, I tell you something. A real man is every bit as comfortable at a poetry reading as he is going to a rodeo or to a four-wheel drive rally or whatever. And a real man really doesn't get any pleasure out of watching football, especially nowadays with the NFL allowing disrespect for the nation and for the flag. I'm going to be doing a special broadcast on July 4th. But this one was just to kind of touch base and let the men know that if you expect your woman to be a lady, you better be a gentleman. And to let the ladies know that, yeah, I got on so many cases the other day. Probably going to be doing a little more of that as time goes on. But I'll tell you this much. I don't pick on one side or the other. I call things like I see them. This being my first broadcast since my stroke, I do apologize for the fact that some of the things that I've tried to say, I have had a little trouble putting the words together. But I want y'all to know that the patriotic Christian cowboy is always there for you. Because a friend always remembers his friends. So until next time, May your horse never stumble. May your cinch never break. May your belly never grumble. And may your heart never ache. This is the PC Cowboy signing off. Yeah!